So good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining our webinar, a series ConverSight is currently doing. And welcome again for a session that's more about how do we talk to your data by connecting to your multiple different data sources, more precisely from Snowflake and other data lakes, and how do we connect and how can ConverSight help you navigate your overall ad hoc reporting and multiple different analytics that you can run through. So in that context, let's make this webinar much more interactive. We request from the participant to certainly ask questions to make this as a complete interactive in nature. And we'll be running from time to time few polls that can make much more aligned from us to understand the audience better and take this discussion in the direction. And post this, we request you to watch or share this along with your team members so that any question that can come through, you can ask us post the webinar as well. Very quickly, the idea of today is to discuss about how do we connect to any data lake, Snowflakes, through ConverSight and talk to your data, help you connect to your data much more seamlessly. In that context, join me is Gopinath, who's our co-founder CTO. Gopi, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, and then I'll give my introduction and then get started.
Sure, thank you. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Gopinath, go by Gopi, it's easier. I've been in this industry for almost like 20 or 25 years in the technology and in AI. Incubated a lot of platforms, startups, COEs in my past, and for the past 7 years, we are developing this ConverSight.ai, and we have numerous customers using our platform.
Perfect. So that's short and sweet, Gopi. Thank you, as always. About me, I am Rizwan. Call me Riz. Feel free to call me Riz. I handle the sales and the operations for ConverSight for the APAC region. Been associated with ConverSight for over 4 years, instrumental in helping multiple enterprises understand ConverSight and take them in their day in, day out operations and multiple different phases of their operations and all those stuff. And I have about 20 plus years of sales and the operations expertise. So I do understand the challenges that comes from the sales and also from the operations standpoint. How do we bring that balance through technology is where I will be dwelling a little more, and Gopi will be sharing a lot of lights onto it. So about ConverSight, yeah, we are dwelling into ConverSights, what ConverSight is. As Gopi briefly mentioned, we started back this organization in 2017, primarily making sure the data team or the business world is able to get closer to the data through the unified analytics platform. We built in the Gen AI capabilities on the platform to get you the insights faster and do much more sales and service based as well. As I speak, we work well with 200 plus satisfied customers across the globe and 10,000 plus users using our platform day in and day out, be it in the space of manufacturing, retail, distribution, logistics. We see a lot of attraction and a lot of users enabling their decision-making ability every day through our platform. What the challenges we've been seeing across in the last few years, right? With all the data that has been growing, we see that many of the time the decisions are made due to intuitions or the kind of the leader's ability to envisage things, but predominantly most doesn't happen with the data because the challenge is you have a lot of data across multiple different systems, and to get to have insight for the leaders to quickly be able to visualize or get an insight of those specific report becomes a big challenge today. And that's where the decisions are made without data, and when they are reliant on multiple different teams to get fetch all those data, it becomes much more challenging. And in that context, I'd love to know, run a small poll here to understand each of the audience here to navigate my discussion much deeper across. So I see a lot of manufacturing, retail, technology, and healthcare personas coming in for this webinar. Thank you for that. And taking this discussion little deeper, right, with all the different retails, everybody coming together. What we've seen in today's scenario is the data is all spread across. Say the retail team who's working have multiple different tools, right? There's platforms that are today giving you that SaaS ability to connect all of your data or get the data. There are marketing tools that are available. There are finance analytics tool, the ERPs, homegrown ERPs. There are multiple different ERPs into the organization, and more precisely, multiple different tools. You have a planning tool. You have a different TMS tool, WMS platforms, all of these for gathering multiple different data, multiple different transactional data so that business can capture every element, every transactions for us to make a sensible and a wise decision out of those data, right? But when it comes to reality, to get the data, with all of these, the complexity is really growing. And with this complexity, you see there is a lot of challenges to get the right analytics, right? So from that per se, you are having from data connectors to pull all the data today. We have to have at least 7 different tools that the organizations today are deploying with multiple different connectors, your data lakes to data integration tools, and then the data science layer, the data mart, the LLM, and the visualizations. So making it much more, again, technology centric, plus the skill centric as well, which means the time to market has time to address your business challenges is not just only on the data, but also in between the other skills plus the technologies that are involved to bring that right visibility to the end user across, making it much more complex. And the time to market is many a times is months, and the cost is also increasing across. And with this, I'd like to little understand there are many poll on the previous poll. I could understand that you are from retail and manufacturing. I'd love to understand a little further in terms of who are those, which are these guys, right? From what are your current positions are. So if you may give me a little bit insight about your current role inside your organization, that will be handy. So I see a lot of digital transformation team, operations team. Gopi, I think you will love answering a lot of questions because there are a lot of digital transformation IT team has joined this discussion. At least I would say like 50%, more than 57% of the results speak are from digital transformation and IT. And that's good. I'm giving 5 more seconds and feel free to jump into the poll. So in fact, now it is 63%. As we see the poll, it is 63% of the participants are from digital transformation and IT. And I'm pretty sure, like with all this, you would be seeing every day those challenges, right? So the data, the business team is having all the data, and then they are asking you for every day all those insights that are required for the decision making, and all these through challenges that you may have to go through across. In that context, take ConverSight. So ConverSight brings the AI companion called Athena. So Athena has the power to go connect to any of your database, right from structured, unstructured data, and help you generate any of the contextual experience by just asking a question, talk to the data and start getting your answers. And that data can be in any, today from the context, we'll little deep dive on Snowflakes of what are those components behind the scene that is helping you get to this level of ease to talk to the data and get your analytics or get your insights on the fly. So to see behind the scene, the entire puzzle, the entire architecture behind the ConverSight platform, we have brought all the puzzles together, right from the data connectors to the data integrations layer to the aggregations layer, and then the data science layer, depending upon you want to run a long, huge models, algorithms behind the scene. Data science layer with our Python SDKs, you can start running all those. And with this, Athena can start answering all your questions. We also made sure behind the scene, the LLM models is also embedded on the platform for Athena to seamlessly answer your questions. We build the entire skill engines and the knowledge graphs where Athena can utilize that by connecting, sensing the data and answer your questions for proactively sending you those insights and create actions. So making this as a complete data and analytics fast platform. and with the governance layer that is required for row level security, all that across. So with this, I will hand over the session to Gopi, where Gopi can walk us through from how do we connect from Snowflakes and bring those insights very seamlessly on ConverSight. So over to you, Gopi. Great. So the previous results were all our IT transformation side. I see the challenges is spread. It also indicates here with 43% of the people talking about data integration and siloed data as a big challenge. And then people are also saying that insufficient tools or the technologies. Plus, they're not able to translate this into data insights into an actionable. So that's looks like a primary challenges from the audience that we could see right now. Maybe you can dwell on all of these as well. Yes, Gopi.
You want to end the board?
Yeah.
Okay. So hi everyone, and welcome once again. What I'm going to do is, as Rizwan mentioned, we have various connectors, but we just wanted to take snowflakes and see how this can be connected within the platform, and then how we can actually configure it, right? And then how we can actually ask questions so that Athena, the character within ConverSight, can answer the questions. So for that, I actually took some in an order table. Assume in any sales you go or anywhere we go. So this is more an what to say, standard information which everybody can understand. So I just picked that one, but it can be like any table with the staff schema or other schemas you bring in, we could able to load into the plus. Okay. It has like this is the business sample business is like in food court business, right? And it has a site name, right? It has a vendor, the items which they sell, and all that. You can see the customization, the tax category, and all that. So basically, it's typical pure kind of data for any for food court with a varying site in the different regions. So let me go to ConverSight. So we have good number of connectors which we have within our platform. So today I'm actually focusing on Snowflakes. So we can actually connect to all these and also more, even if there is no connector, we have a low-code version of the connectors which can be used within our data pipeline using Notebook and the clusters we have. So as of today, we are just going with the Snowflakes connector which we are going to use and which I've already configured. So this is configured to actually connect to the particular data warehouse which is actually running in the Snowflakes. Snowflakes are point of means to connect to any data sources. And ConverSight has a concept of something called data sets. These are logical unit, and each of these data sets can actually connect to multiple data sources. So this is one of the, I would say, an feature where you can connect to an ERP, you can connect to an CRM, and let's assume that you have some other local databases which you actually wanted to bring into one particular place, and then you actually want to run in 360 degree of any insights can be done within the ConverSight. For this, we have actually configured. Just go here. Snowflake. So basically, when you connect the data source and you load data into the platform, ConverSight or Athena actually does a lot of things at the back, right? It actually creates a semantic layer. We call it as SME coaching here, and we define vocabularies because when you actually pull the data in, there might be tables, columns, which are not in a way a business user is going to ask or a business analyst is going to use, right? And sometimes each of these actually have called differently by different people, right? And we don't have to worry about all that. Just come and like load those vocabularies, and even if it is on there, it is more like a training. You train the semantic engine here, and it actually start understanding what this data is, right? Second, we also provide an GenAI capability. So this is like we have integrated the skill engine and GenAI here, and you can ask the ConverSight platform to generate those vocabularies, right? It can actually do it. So it actually eases out the pain. I have heard a couple of our customers who come in and ask us, hey, we have like huge amount of data, right? Let's say we have like hundreds of tables sometimes, right? Practically, they're not going to bring in everything into this particular insight asking questions. But basically, even if you're actually going to bring in like 20, 30 tables with varying degree of columns and all that, it's going to become a pain, right? And we can actually have a try on getting the generative. This is more in generative capability, so it is going to provide you that, and then you can actually go and use out like change things up if not and what. So it is not like one table you can bring in and ask questions. So basically you can bring in the star schema or like even totally disjoin two different sets of the star schema into the data set and you can ask questions. Those can be actually configured here using relationship objects. So it actually provides a complete and an administrative way to control what people can ask with data governance. So you can actually say that, hey, this is what you wanted to actually be asked, and you can have filters and other things set. Even if people ask questions naturally, it will still apply those filters to actually answer those questions. So after configuring, right, there are three different ways how Athena interacts with any user. Okay, one is, let's assume that you actually loaded the data. Most of the time, as a business user or a business person or any other data analyst or somebody, right, they have to come in, open a dashboard, and they have to view the dashboard to actually make a decision, right? This is basically like you have to go and pull the information. But if you take any other social media, right, today, it actually pushed the news to you, right? What if you actually have the same kind of experience when you're actually taking any business work, right? So that's what we did. The insights are like a Twitter-like feed, which is actually getting pushed to the business user, which is more like personalized for them. And for whatever the important insights which they have to act upon can be pushed. So that is insight. Proactive insights, we can be configured, and complex one can actually run through a data pipeline and all that, and it can actually generate and it can actually push to the end user. It actually provides you two one. One, it actually provides a short snippet of what that insight is, and it actually provides you an academic data which you can actually go and drill down and see information. The second, which is typically with any visualization tool or BI business intelligence tool, it actually provides a data visualization and data stories which you can actually configure. These are not created by any professionals. So basically you can ask questions and you can actually come in here and then you can consume these dashboards. And typically, like as you can do almost everything here, like you can actually create a PowerPoint. You are getting into a meeting, you actually wanted to present, just create a PowerPoint and go present it to the group, share, schedule the report to be sent as an email to any of your business colleagues, right? And then the filters can be applied to actually filter out to actually get the data set. And it's not stops there, right? When we talk about Athena, so talk to data and in the world of ChatGPT, right? And so here this is we started with insights getting into your hand. Second, once you have that, you actually wanted to get some more detail. You went into a storyboard. You have everything there to actually implement it. What if you actually have questions on top of all this, right? That's where the Athena's question and answer capability comes into play, where you can actually come and ask questions, right? So it's like just ask questions. It takes care of finding out what type of questions you are asking. Then it actually takes care of writing the extraction queries on the bottom in the behind, and then it actually fires that into the snowflakes to actually answer the question. So once the data comes in, you can explore it. I'll take this one. And it actually provides almost all functionality which you can actually use to explore data in a various way, right? It can be like template by pivoting everything and also the various charts which you can use. And this can be actually just pinned into any of the dashboards which you have actually seen the storyboards. So go there, create a new storyboard, ask questions, spin it, and create a storyboard so you don't have to ask next time when you come in. And then that can be shared with your colleagues and business users or whatever it is, right? And it can also be scheduled. Yeah, this is the question I have asked, and it actually came up. So how this works behind, as I said, we have both LLM and semantic engine which we have built. So when we started this company almost 7 years back, we did the research and we actually came up with the semantic engine. And lately, like in the past 2 years, we have actually added the LLMs into the mix to answer the questions. And here, so the questions are built, understood, then it's passed. It basically creates a query which is actually fired back to the snowflakes to be run there. So if you go there, you can see that it's got executed here. The last query which I ran from there, and this is the query which actually Athena created at the back by asking that question. So it does complex relationship understanding. It actually joins table, right? Everything is actually does at the back, so you don't have to do anything from there. So this is where I stop. There are a lot more into the platform. So we have analytics, we have Jupyter Notebook and clusters where you can actually run any type of machine learning, or it can be like in data engineering, or it can be like in data analytics, statistics, and everything. And it can be deployed within the platform, which can be consumed. And then those data which are output of those analytics can be pushed here, and that can be used to create insights, storyboards, and ask questions. Yeah, so that's the demo. We have over to you, Rizwan, for any questions, speak up.
Sure. Thank you, Gopi. One question that just comes to my mind right before I take over this is is there when I discuss with a lot of the IT team and the CIO team is, hey, all the data is sensitive. I don't want to move any of the data out. So when you query right now, is that the data moved anywhere? The data is still in their premise. How is that? Can you show some light on it?
Yeah. So the data resides in the snowflakes within the customer environment, right? And it is not moved. When you actually ask a question, it actually creates these queries on the fly. It fires back to the snowflakes, and it actually pulls the information and is actually visualizing it here. So here the data resides within the source, and the file is getting the query is getting executed there. The data is not being moved.
Oh, that's awesome. So which means the data is there, and ConverSight has the power to go be deployed in their hyperscalers wherever their current data is. So the entire hand holding, analytics, everything is done on their hyperscalers, and then the outputs are provided to the end users without the data.
Yes, exactly. We also provide, so ConverSight also provides the data. It can also store data and answer question. It can also connect to the data, and it doesn't move the data. So we have both the options based on customer's need. Those can be configured to answer the questions.
Oh, perfect. I know there will be a lot of questions from the audience. Before that, maybe I would like to dwell on the architecture side, Gopi. I'll walk through on the architecture side. And as I shift gears there, we would like to understand from the audience with today's Gen AI capabilities that the entire world is all talking about. Where do you see the impact for in your organization you need to be looking at? So 60% are saying the quicker insights and Gen AI stories. I know we didn't touch about the Gen AI stories. Maybe we'll walk through them. And there are sizable numbers we're talking about. There are a lot of IT backlogs reports that needs to be provided to the business as well with enhanced user satisfaction. So in total, as I could see, is the challenges as a multiple level. One, data is siloed, not able to crunch it very quickly, and any data science layer that needs to be done so that you are able to provide those insights very quickly. And the reports, which are today manually, even with the current BIs, whatever we have, manually being created, how can those be generated is where the answer lies for those things. So if you see here from the overall architecture standpoint, now as we saw how we could seamlessly connect to the snowflakes, ConverSight gives you the empowerment to go connect with any of the data, whether it is at your data lake or to any data source, and then ingest into the ConverSight platform with the skill engines and the knowledge engines. Athena can start giving you all those insights in the proactive manner that it can highlight the stories that are required for decision making. And then the GPT-like experience where you can ask questions to Athena, even though ad hoc questions, you can get your answers on the fly. Make it as a complete domain assistant for every particular persona. Even in my previous role, I used to really try to struggle on my sales analytics. Hey, which are my customer I need to be focusing for next quarter, for example, right? What are the trend lines that are giving through, and how much when I look at my peers in different industries, in fact, I always say, hey, look, always my supply chain team is talking about a lot of stocks available in one warehouse, but I'm selling in a very different region. So how can I get to have those visibility created, make myself a complete domain assistant? And that's where Athena can help you get that level of intelligence by allowing you to get those insights, create your own storyboards, and there are a lot of features from control tower to what if analysis, making this as a complete actionable engine. And the good part is the entire experience is available on mobile and as well as web browser. I know most we saw that in the web application today, but the entire experience is also available in web browser mobile applications, which means I can seamlessly connect to data anywhere to get to my overall analytics. So with this poll, I could understand that a lot of Gen AI related stories are all required. So Bhuvi, how do you see with this current architecture, we'll be able to create a lot of Gen AI stories for the audience or for a specific user group?
Yeah. So to answer that question, I just wanted to break it first into two, right? One is what does platform provide, right? A platform, what we saw today in the demo is connecting to the data source in the Snowflake, which is a tabular format, and we actually ask question. What if we actually wanted to load all the data with respect to manuals, right? Any document on financial data, right? And you wanted to ask questions, which can be done within the platform. So basically, unstructured data, enterprise document knowledge store data is what they have, or it can be any kind of tabular data which is from different sources. All this can be brought into the platform and ingested into the platform to actually answer business questions. Right, and if these two can be done in the way, right, and with the skill engine and then with the Gen AI capability used through the skill engine, platform can actually produce a lot of stories which can be like used by the end user and customer.
Oh, nice. So which in this case, right? So typically, the entire self-service enabled no-code platform with all the decision-making ability should be able to provide all this. And from the platform capabilities, a lot of content that is being pushed in our websites. So you can go skim through all of these content and where we have the community users where any questions that are there can be answered. And I see there is one question from Neeral Shraddha. Do you have capabilities to connect to SAP R3 as well as Ariba and then link them on ConverSight and we do analysis? And can we do analysis? So do you want to jump in that question, Bobby? How do
Yeah.
we link with that?
We already have a lot of customers who are actually have data source as SAP. Not only SAP, not only SAP, but like they are connected with the multiple sources, and then we ingest that data into the platform and we provide insights. And to answer the question, yes, we do, and we do connect to all these external sources.
So in that case, just to follow up there, where do you see this can be a pull approach or this can be a push approach or both?
Yeah. So we provide two or three approaches here, right? One is in the case of Snowflake demo, what we saw, it is basically the pull, right? The query is directly pushed. When I say pull, basically the query is pushed into the Snowflakes and we actually pull the information from there, right? And there are cases where the data is ingested within the platform itself. So basically, ConverSight pulls the information. It can be an API source, right? It can be an file or something which is in a data lake, right? All those can also be consumed within the platform to generate insights. So it's pull, push, both is can be configured, and sometimes it can be configured for the same data set too. Some can be pulled and some can be pushed.
Okay. Okay. So with this, so these are generative AI stories that proactively Athena can generate for a specific role, specific user group, all right? So telling them what is happening on their particular line of business, where the spikes are and what is that spikes are all culminating to, letting the user know or the decision maker know from a standpoint of how much the deviations are, where my costs are increasing, where my revenues are dipping, all those from that percent. So proactively, a lot of alerts can be pushed. And then from that, you can ask a lot of those questions as we demonstrated to both structured and unstructured data. From also ability to get my visibility into much more pointed from complete unstructured data. There are a lot of documents sometimes the users struggle through for knowing how much information I need to be knowing. For that, I don't want to run through hundreds of documents. There, Athena can seamlessly connect to those documents and help my get that information as well, wherein it gives me that power to get my insights even to the structured data across. So naturally, feeling like a GPT-like experience where you can ask a question to Athena, get your data questions answered across. A lot of insights that can be generated along with a guide to explore in terms of getting you curated insights where it could be much deeper into analytics in per se. All that can be run by the data team. 1.1 add-on is when these insights are being generated. I know there are a lot of data science folks here who run a lot of their models separately and then productionize it, find it difficult to productionize it. With ConverSight's unified platform, what you can look at it is the Python layer or the data science layer where you can run the model, you have the data ability to connect the data, push a certain as a task to certain specific user where they can get their visualizations just by asking those questions. So in making the complete approach from data to run your models to run that specific output, productionize it for your end user, that can be achieved in one single place across. The control tower, what we spoke about is how you can look at into multiple different views for your particular user or a particular function. Here in this case, this is more talking about on the production procurement control tower, which can be set at a complete low-code level. It can be configured by your data team and then provided to the business users where they can get a complete eagle's eye view. Or this could be a thing from a marketing analytics dashboard where you wanted to understand from every single click what is happening on a particular campaign that you're running, where are my clicks are increasing and what's my cost associated to it. Or that could be from overall supply chain from a standpoint where you can look at what's happening on my demand, what's happening on my supply, and then take a corrective action in terms of when I need to release PO and all those stuff. All that, those kind of analytics complete can be achieved for end users across. So with this, I open the forum to questions. Any questions? One question we answered is on the SAP R3. So maybe one just follow-up question to there is, do you have a direct connectors with SAP B1, for example, let's start with, where a lot of small businesses also runs through on SAP B1. Do we have connectors directly to SAP B1?
So we do have connectors to B1, which we can directly connect and extract information to actually do and for the visualization part of it. So one other point I actually wanted to make on the overall is ConverSight is on one front basically the BI solution for business users, right? Business users or the normal business analyst users. On the other side is basically a data engineer and data scientist workbench where they can connect, explore data and do their analytics. And when I was actually working with a lot of these data engineers and data scientists in the past, one thing which I always felt, even if I myself, I was a data scientist, and I tried to do analytics. And when I actually wanted to showcase those analytics, the biggest challenge I have is put it in an Excel sheet, create some charts somewhere, and then go and show to my business users, right? And so what if we can actually, the data scientists and data engineers can do whatever they can do, and then on the spot, they push this information to the business user, they can consume it, right? And that is what actually ConverSight provides. Right. Second, in the same way, when data scientists created everything and they showed to the business that hey, it's all good, right? Let's put this into the production. The challenge here is it's going to actually, it always took like a month, 2 or 3 to productionize something because we need an engineer, a software engineer to come in. We need to allocate clusters. We need to do all that, right? What does ConverSight provides is an infrastructure there to packages within ConverSight, and it can be just deployed within the ConverSight in a matter of just calling a function and then deploying it as a click. And that is now available for almost everybody to come and access it, right? They can run it and they can scale it. So basically, somebody provides it, they put it, and if they run it in an production environment, it can actually scale. With all which is integrated within the platform. So that's why we call it as unified platform.
Right. In that case, Gopi, now coming from the marketing analytics standpoint, right? So for example, I see a lot of organizations using different tools, different platforms, having to have for Facebook a separate, Amazon a separate tool, and I've come across an organization which has got at least like a couple of dozens of different SaaS platform altogether where the data is all completely siloed. So with this platform, we mean can all the data can be synchronized in a way that the data flows can happen at a specific interval for me to get to have the complete analytics of which click, which campaign is running the best, where my cost has to be channelized, all those stuff.
Yes. So one is extracting data as we shown. The second is analyzing, doing market analysis, right? Inventory analysis, sales analysis, purchase order analysis, right? And all these analysis can be done within the platform from getting it from different sources and combining these sources to actually come up with an net result, which can be used for decision making across almost in all segments and functions of the enterprise.
Okay, perfect. So there were some few questions around that. That's the reason I asked it, okay, from the audience. And cool, thank you. That's the end of the session. And for the audience out here, participants out here, you have the privilege to get to have the access to ConverSight's platform for 15 days, trial access with a starter kit. All you need to do is go drop an email to rizwan.nurullah@conversight.ai, grab this opportunity of 15 days with a dedicated 4 30 minutes training sessions on the platform for you to be able to connect to the data sources and then rejoice those analytics, put it into your business perspective, what the challenges you are looking in, and then how can you build that kind of a solution and promote it to your business leaders. In that way, your ability to reduce your backlog of the reports, see how you can generate all the insights very quickly for the business, that can be accomplished during this period. So thank you once again for the participation. And any questions, I'm available on the email rizwan.nurullah@conversight.ai and also available on LinkedIn at Rizwan Nurullah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.